This is the Daily Fantasy 5 for Wednesday, June 12th. This is episode 113. And today we are bringing you the 5 things you need to know every day in the world of fantasy sports. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about Kevin Durant. We've got some baseball news, including madness in the Atlanta bullpen and their pitching staff in general. And we've got some NFL tidbits to go through before we move on. So before we hit all that news, let's talk about our sponsor, mathradio.com, where you can pick up an online math course for as little as $9.99 to help your child ages 7 through 17 get better grades, score higher on exams, and even help them get into college. Once again, that is www.mathradio.com. All right, everybody. Let's keep talking about Kevin Durant, as we will probably talk about him all offseason. We all know he was injured the other day. He is scheduled to have his MRI yesterday on Tuesday in New York City. As of this morning at 9:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, there is no word on how that MRI went. However, it is like a certainty that he will not be back for the rest of the series. So the Golden State Warriors will have to do everything without him. We're going to have a big roundup of the NBA Finals tomorrow before Game 6. Obviously, for our wages, we're hoping that Golden State can pull it out and force a Game 7. Anyway, we'll get to that tomorrow. Let's talk about Major League Baseball. The Los Angeles Dodgers shortstop Corey Seager has a serious hamstring strain. He will miss a significant amount of time. This season, he's been batting .278 with 8 home runs and 38 RBIs. It's a far cry from his all-star performance of 2016 and 17. He is going to have an MRI today. If it isn't a serious hamstring strain like they believe, he should be out about 6 weeks. But we don't know that for certain yet. We'll get you word later on in the week. All right, let's move to Atlanta. As we tipped off earlier in the show, they are a mess right now as far as their pitching staff goes. So Atlanta closer A.J. Minter has been called back up from AAA after 5 weeks down there. He was awful at the beginning of the season. That's why he got sent down. He's being called back up to compete for the closer spot because current closer Luke Johnson stinks. He has 5 blown saves in 14 opportunities. I expect that Minter, as long as he doesn't completely implode, will be the closer by the end of the month. So I would be looking to pick up A.J. Minter as soon as possible and stash him until he becomes the full-time closer for the Atlanta Braves. And you can always trade him or one of your other closers later, but it's always valuable to have an extra closer. Okay, speaking of Atlanta, they also have a problem with their starting rotation as Guzman has been sent down to the injured list with plantar fasciitis. Maybe this explains his terrible, terrible year. He came in as the number 2 starting pitcher for Atlanta. He's been awful. I think he has an ERA above 6. Just terrible, terrible stuff. So who's going to fill in this empty spot in the Atlanta Braves rotation? Well, we don't know. Even their manager says he doesn't know who's going to take their spot. As soon as we know, we will let you know as well. Maybe there's some fantasy opportunity there. Let's move to the NFL as we have some kind of non-stories and non-NFL fantasy relevant stories, but let's just touch on everything that came out this morning as there was a bunch of news. First of all, Saints defensive end Jordan signed a $52 million extension. This should really help out their defense. I don't think he was going to hold out anyway, but now he should be ready to go for training camp. Speaking of training camp, Los Angeles Todd Gurley is on track to be at training camp. He says he's feeling fine. I don't know. I don't trust Gurley going into the season. You'll see that in my running back rankings that'll come out later this month. But yeah, I'm not a fan. He won't be on my fantasy team. Last year, loved him. Won a lot of fantasy weeks with him last year, as most people did. Melvin Gordon, another running back, wants a new deal as well, as does safety Malcolm Jenkins. So people wanting new deals. No one really threatening to hold out at this point. So I don't think it really affects the fantasy landscape. But I wanted to give you that news in case it became a bigger story later on. All right, that's it today for the Daily Fantasy 5. We are brought to you, as always, by www.mathradio.com, where you can pick up an online math course for your child for as little as $9.99. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel and tell a friend. If you're listening on the podcast, please give us a 5-star rating and a review. We will see you next time. Bye.